With a star leaving a company and another returning, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Talking about Eddie Guerrero winning the WWE title on his podcast, Jim Ross noted that Eddie was miserable as champion, saying if Eddie had just relied on his instincts and his natural ability to work a match and perform at a high level, it would have never been an issue. But Eddie was not wound that way. He was wound tighter than a fiddle string. I don't know how to explain it any better. He mentally was putting so much pressure on himself that he was making himself miserable by being the WWE champion. On the Ringer Wrestling show, Shawn Michaels talked about his new role leading NXT as he also touched on his booking philosophy, saying usually Hunter's the one that's out there in front of the cameras and doing all the talking for NXT, but obviously, as you know, his responsibilities have grown, and it also means that clearly mine have grown. The image of NXT still needs to be represented. That falls on me. Clearly, I'm thrilled to be able to do that and be out there supporting NXT and trying to get it the recognition that it deserves. But it is a new role for me. I usually am more comfortable behind the scenes and doing my job, but look, this is an exciting time. I love the men and women in NXT. I love helping them out, love producing the television show. We're excited about Halloween Havoc. I'm thrilled to have this kind of responsibility. Talking about the focus on developmental and younger stars, Michaels noted, from my standpoint, I look at we have to combine putting on obviously a 2-hour entertaining wrestling show every week, but at the forefront of all of that, to me, I usually try to focus on the developmental aspect. It is my job and our job collectively in NXT to bring these young men and women growth and experience and help them to encounter things that they may encounter on the main roster. So honestly, that's what I put at the forefront is repetition in those types of things. From television standpoint, whether it be storylines, promos, just television time, certain spots. I don't mean spots in a match. I mean spots on the card, so to speak. Opening the show, the middle of the show, a personal storyline, a championship storyline, being on top and understanding the pressures and the dedication and the lack of time off that one may have to go through. So there are a number of different aspects that we try to build to this, but for me, I always try to put development at the forefront. Look, sometimes that makes it challenging to put on the absolute best wrestling show that you can. With Booker T returning to WWE for commentary duties on NXT, he mentioned his relationship with fellow commentator Michael Cole on his Hall of Fame podcast. You got to always stay ready just so you don't have to get ready. If it wasn't for him, none of this would be possible. And that's Michael Cole, man. Michael Cole has been my guy for quite some time, man. He's been in my corner. So I just want to thank Michael Cole for making this all happen. I will be an advisor in certain aspects of guys. I'm all about trying to show these young guys what it takes to work at the top of the card. Speaking about his relationship with the head of WWE Creative, Triple H, Finn Balor told the New York Post, "It's been well documented that I have a good working relationship with Triple H. I feel like we grew together in NXT and developed a bond over that. I certainly trust the direction he takes the company in and respect any decisions or choices he makes. But for me, I still need to turn up and perform. So that hasn't changed in any way, like my work ethic or my focus or my determination. If anything, it makes it stronger. I feel like this character is definitely my strongest character, but I feel like titles come with performances. I need to perform consistently over the next couple of years, and the titles will come. The only thing I can control is how I perform when the bell rings. I can't control who I'm in there with, how long I'm in there, what city it's in. All I can control is making sure I'm ready when the bell rings and handle business." During an interview with Superstar Crossover, Balor touched on winning the Universal title and potential plans for him prior to vacating the belt due to injury. You know what? You're the first person that's ever asked me that question. I have absolutely no idea what the plans were. I'm very much of the mindset of day by day. I don't really think too far into the future. I want to handle business today and worry about tomorrow. That was very much the mindset that I had back then too. I was very focused on winning the championship, not really worried about where it was going to go or where it was going to unfold, or what the story had been projected. I feel like from that incident, I grew, not only as a performer, but as a human, I learned to overcome and kind of take the good out of a bad situation. I feel a lot more grounded since that incident, and it's been a big learning phase for me. Speaking about him skipping a fan fest for AEW, which led to many thinking he would not show up at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view that was coming up this year, MJF revealed to Sam Roberts that my company lost $10,000 that day. And I say my company because they were employing me for the time being. I did not go because my boss at that time was being a mark. If you don't want to pay me what I'm worth, Daddy does not show up to work. Daddy got the money. Daddy is back. Now me and Tony Khan are best friends. Tony Khan, great guy. When I stayed in said hotel room, they did a wellness check on me and the AEW security. This is a very true story. Tried to break my door down. At the time I had already left. They did the check. He literally went to kick my door down on a wellness check. That was everybody's fear. Is this MJF's Brian Pillman moment? No, it was MJF trying to make what MJF deserves to be making. I have understood that there are some people who were really let down or offended. What I say to you is, I don't care. Get over it. I'm happy now. If you're a fan of me, you should be happy too because I'm stupid. I was rich before, but now I'm so rich I don't even know what to do. If you want the fans to see me and experience me on any level, pay me what I'm worth. He did, and we're cool. For WWE Cyber Sunday shows, fans would be able to cast a vote to determine which stars faced against each other and in what matches. Talking about this on his podcast, former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. revealed he was shocked to learn the voting was not fake. Behind the scenes or behind the curtain, these were legit. They literally worked out 3 different matches with whoever the main guy in the ring was going to be. Granted, you know that these were all super pros, so they didn't have to choreograph the entire match. They can feel it while they're out there, but they would have to be prepared regardless of who they thought would win, just in case someone didn't win the vote, and they would have to go with the person who did. So they were always very careful with the 3 options they gave you. They didn't want to give you like Doink the Clown versus Shawn Michaels, because they can't trust fans to not go, yeah, let's see Doink versus Shawn Michaels, because that match would suck. So they would always give you 3 credible choices. But it was a legit vote. Every time that vote came in, that's who went in and wrestled. I never knew that. I always thought it was a work when I was watching them, but I liked them a lot even though I thought they were fake. Once I found out it was real, it just brought a whole different level of magic to it. So I would love to see something like that come back again. With an update on the Vince McMahon documentary being worked on following his retirement as chairman and CEO of WWE due to the Hush Money scandal, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer said, the Vice schedule on October 18th lists other programming from 8 to 10 p.m. repeats of the first 2 episodes of Tales from the Territories that have already aired in that time slot. That night was the original date for the 9 Lives of Vince McMahon documentary. We don't have a new scheduled date, but since both AEW and NXT are going live from 8 to 10 p.m. head to head, it's a good date to avoid doing a wrestling documentary. I would expect it to air on a Tuesday before the Territory show, but waiting to find out the week. As his good friend Triple H is now in charge of creative in WWE, Road Dogg mentioned on Superstar Crossover about the changes brought to Raw and SmackDown, saying, if you come out to this show, what you get to see, and it really is, all of our top talent. And you mentioned on top of that stack is the Bloodline and Sami Zayn. Man, look, Sami and Roman and some of those backstage were priceless. I mean, award-winning nominations. It was like I was watching a TV show or a movie. But it's these 2 guys I know and love. I just think that there's some magic there with the even dynamic of the one Uso not liking him and the other. It's television gold, and I love watching it. I would love even more to be a part of the creative of it, but that's not my job right now. Man, it's so fun to watch. And it's commonplace for me to say this company is the best and the other company's not, but their television show is not fluid. It's not. Things don't connect. I don't know. I just can't follow their television show. When I watch Raw now, I will admit, 3 hours of Raw used to be a challenge. It used to be a challenge. But for the last 3 months, it's been a joy to watch and a breeze to get through, and SmackDown's even easier. I don't know. I just love what I'm doing, man. You could say that for sure. I also don't know their talent like I know our talent, you know what I mean? So it's more difficult for me to have a connection to get into it, because I don't know those guys. With former WWE star Mia Yim returning to Impact Wrestling earlier in the year, it seems her time with the promotion is at an end, as it was reported that Fightful Select confirmed that Mia Yim did not extend her deal with Impact Wrestling and is now a free agent. Yim returned this past spring and signed a short-term deal. We'd reported that her deal was set to expire this weekend, barring an extension. Mia Yim put over Mickie James and Taylor Wilde on her way out of Impact, and we're told that the door is open for a potential return on Impact's side. Those that we spoke to said that her time there was positive and she worked well with the locker room. Talking about the passing of WWE legend Chyna in 2016, former WWE writer Vince Russo took a shot at the head of creative in the company, Triple H, for being silent in light of her death. Here's what I'm interested in. How is Chyna going to be acknowledged? If Triple H goes out there and acknowledges Chyna, I will be the first one to apologize, because he had said nothing since her passing. If he goes out there and says something heartfelt, I will be the first to say, I apologize, bro. But we know their track record and we know what they do, and the odds of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Russo would also claim that he's been blackballed from pro wrestling. I'm the bad guy because I'm stating the obvious. I'm making a fraction of what they made, and I've been blackballed by the wrestling industry because I'm not going to sell out. I'm not going to compromise myself, my opinions, and who I am to conform and make $1,000,000 a year. I ain't going to do it, bro. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.